Two huge announcements in Discord across the last 48 hours. The most recent one, really exciting, but the one from yesterday, perhaps not so much depending on your perspective. And I know there's a lot of people feeling frustrated, worried, concerned, angry, but some are happy. So today I'm going to go through both of the announcements, but this video is particularly for you if perhaps you're feeling a little delicate or frayed around the edges or frustrated by reactions in Discord. Let's just go. Oh, welcome my dear friend. Come on in, take a seat around the Chalk Talk table. No tea today, no time. And actually I did consider perhaps actually raiding my little drinks cabinet there for a nip of whiskey because I kind of feel we all need it after yesterday. So I'll get into all that in just a moment. But before I do, I will say, as I always do, I am not a financial advisor. This is absolutely not financial advice. So please do your own research. So let's get into these announcements, and we will take the most recent one first. Just a few hours ago, there was an announcement in Blockchain Announcements, which is really telling us some really exciting news. Now, I'm not going to read out the announcement. I will put a link below so that you can take a look yourself, but I'll just give you the headlines here. So let's have a look. So the headline is Road to Mainnet Testnet Upgrade. Get ready to hit the reset button. Exciting times are ahead as we blaze our path towards Mainnet. The blockchain will need to be reset as we progress through different phases of testnet, giving us a chance to build and explore new possibilities. So this is just really, it's a really useful communication telling us to expect a reset of testnet. This is perfectly normal. You know, some bugs have been identified and fixed, and the team need to add some new features to the testnet in order to get them tested. So it's quite normal. Your Vulcan that you have, or the testnet Vulcan that you have in your wallet, will disappear. Again, quite normal, don't be alarmed. And this is really the initial communication from the team, who will update us in terms of when we should expect this to happen. So really exciting, signifies yet another major step towards mainnet. So the next announcement that I want to go through is perhaps a little less straightforward, a little bit more contentious, shall we say. It landed yesterday, a little bit out of the blue, and I think was a surprise to many. So again, I'm just going to take you through the headlines really of this. The link will be down below if you haven't already seen this, and I presume many have, but if you haven't seen it, please do go and read it. It's a really important announcement. So let's just take a really quick look. Strategic rollout, pivot, Vul release and node schedule. Today we are formally announcing an absolute final lock-in revision of our strategic rollout plans. So just to skip on, we do have the confirmed market pairs upon mainnet launch, which will be Vulcan Bitcoin, Vulcan Ethereum, and Vulcan USDT. But really the thing that has everybody's tail in a spin is the new release period, as you will see here. So 12-month release period, and you will see them detailed there. Now, I will take us through that in a little bit more detail in just a second. Just a couple of really important things to draw your attention to in this. The first one is that this is being driven very clearly by the requirements for the central exchanges. So this isn't the team just kind of thinking, oh, we'll give them an extra long vesting period, it might be good for the project. This is being driven by a requirement. If we want to be on the central exchanges and play with the big boys, then this is what we have to do. And the second thing to highlight is about node holders. And originally last week, there was some news that came out that said that node holders would not be bound by the vesting period. However, that has now been removed. And so node holders, you will be bound by the 2.5% as is common across all holders. It's clear to say that the reaction in Discord yesterday was dramatic, actually. Dramatic, I think. And I don't mean that in a condescending way. It was dramatic. Now, I did make a video on the vesting or the rollout, strategic rollout, as it was displayed to us last week. And there is a video up here where I talked about the pros and cons of in effect, a vesting period. Now, all of those details remain the same apart from the schedule. So let's just dive in and take a really close look at what this now means. So as you will see, we have now moved from what was a 5-month release period to now a 12-month release period. And we now know the percentages that will be released throughout each of these periods. Interestingly, the team didn't use the word month, but they used period. And I think we are presuming that these are across 12 months, but it may be that these periods are of different lengths. We will have to wait and see. So as you'll see, the first 4 periods are at 2.5%, and then there's 3 periods at 5%, and then moving to 2 periods of 10%, 2 of 15%, and finally, the final period, we will see our final 25% released to us. So a huge change, of course, and quite a shock to many. And as we are quite used to seeing in Discord, when we have news dropping on us, whether it's considered good, bad news, we always have conflicting opinions within Discord, and sometimes they spill across into what I think is unacceptable behavior, name calling, terrible swearing, and all of that. Now, I'm not a prude, but I just think we should all be professional. But what I'd just like to focus on a little bit is why these differing, conflicting attitudes exist, and why we all have different perspectives that cause this drama and this friction. But also, if you are feeling particularly scared or frustrated or whatever about this news, then I do have a little snippet of something I want to share just at the end of this video, so that I think will help you. So do hang around for that. But let's just have a look, because we do have different perspectives, and this is how I would describe them. So imagine we have heard a piece of news in Discord. What happens is we all immediately consider how that piece of news will affect us, our circumstances, our personal circumstances. And I would challenge anybody to say that they don't immediately think, how is this going to affect me? And actually, once you've considered your personal circumstances, your personal stance on the news, if the news chimes with, your strategy anyway, or you quickly figure out that it's not really going to affect you, then you are very quickly able to move beyond your personal circumstances, your personal perspective, and move to what I would call the strategic view. And as you'll see, there are several people in this circle, but we still have somebody who is left in the inner circle still considering their personal circumstances. And this could be because it's a complete change to their strategy. In the case of the news we had yesterday, they wanted to take more out, they've got bills to pay, they're immediately kind of reduced to fear or frustration or anger. This wasn't the plan, what are they doing? That's all connected with our own personal circumstances. And what that does is it absolutely provides a barrier to being able to move beyond the personal, your own perspective, to see what might be further afield and what actually might be what I said, the strategic or the project, in this case, the Vulcan view. But of course, if you're in that inner circle, it's incredibly difficult to move beyond it and to move to the outer circle and see that bigger picture, that longer term view, until you can reconcile for yourself your own personal difficulties. But equally, if you are in the outer circle and you're looking at this from the project's view, this is great for the project, the price is going to go up, it's going to be amazing. It's actually really, really hard for you to appreciate the people in that inner circle that you're just seeing as a bit small-minded and they're just obsessed with their own self. And this is the difficulty. And actually, there are some people that are in between, that they've done the whole personal thinking and they're moving across to the outer. and everything in between. But this is the crux of it. And I think if we can all appreciate that there are different perspectives, none of them are right or wrong. Perspectives aren't right or wrong, they're perspectives, and that's the whole point. But if we can recognize that there are these different perspectives, then what the people on the inner circle need to do is realize that there is a bigger picture here that actually will benefit them personally if they can see it, that they just need to really try hard to see it. But equally, the people in the outer circle, you need to know that there are people struggling with this, and instead of bashing them and calling them fudders, we just need to help them along to see that bigger picture. And in terms of me, it probably won't surprise you, I'm firmly in the outer circle. I mean, I am fortunate, and I recognise it, that although I've had to rethink my plans a little bit, I wasn't going to sell my bag. I was going to take potentially up to 5% that we were going to get in the original vesting period, but I was just going to see how the price went, and that was going to dictate my actions really. So to pivot to 2.5% in the first month isn't a huge change for me. So I could very quickly recognise that and move to that outer, longer term project strategic view. So that's fine. But that does not diminish the people that are still in that inner circle and that have a very valid perspective. Now, I promised you a little wee morsel of something, especially if you're not feeling great about this news. So I want to share with you this chart, and this chart is of a layer 2 blockchain that launched just yesterday on the Ethereum network. And as you'll see, it does not look good. Now, nobody wants to see a chart like that, especially on launch day, and I do not want to prey on the misfortune of another project, but it is important to recognize that there was a lot of free tokens, free coins given towards that blockchain in the form of airdrops. We have rebases, and I believe the price lost about 90%. So what happened? Of course, the free money was sold off. But what's really important to say is there was no vesting period involved in that launch. So in theory, this cannot happen with Vulcan. We have only up to 2.5% available to be sold on that initial launch day. So what should happen to the price? It should absolutely rocket. In theory, not financial advice, but that's how the theory goes. We need to wait and see. But as I've already said, I am feeling very at one with this news. I'm feeling very positive about it. And I truly, truly believe that it is in the absolute interest of not only the wider project, the wider blockchain, but in the interest of every single investor that holds Vulcan at the moment. So I'm going to leave it there for today. I really hope that this video has been of value to you, especially, as I say, if you're not feeling great at the moment. But let's just all be patient with each other and look for those other perspectives. So I will wish you farewell. I will thank you for watching my video. Hope to see you in the next one. If you haven't subscribed, then please do consider doing it, and please do, if you've enjoyed the video, do give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. But for now, I will just say, as I always do, my dear Vulcans, live long in prosperity, and cheers.
Living life every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.